here. We've got a lot of information to go over, so we're going to jump right into it. And I'm going to start with something now for several reasons, and you'll understand at the end of the presentation why. But I want to start it now because I want to motivate everybody. So it goes like this. Xenophon, I think in his Institution of Cyrus somewhere, mentions that one of his heroes had come to the conclusion that he had two souls, a good one and a bad one, which predominated alternately. When the good one had ascendancy, his actions were all good and benevolent. But when the evil principles prevailed, his actions were all vicious and detrimental. If ever a man had two souls, I think our president does, for his conduct is clearly prompted by two opposing and governing principles as that of the Persian prince. Our country. I could weep tears of blood for our country. The present condition of it, both politically and morally, presents anything but a cheering prospect to the mind of either the patriot or the philanthropist. The only possible consolation we have is that which changed the mind of the father of our country on the darkest hour of the American Revolution, when sitting at midnight on the banks of that frozen Delaware, when one of his officers, on the 25th of December, one of his officers remarked that the prospect before them was a gloomy one. Yes, sir, said the hero, but we have this consolation. The darkest hour of night is great before the dawn of day. This may be, and I pray heaven, is our own condition at present. We certainly have reached the darkest hour, and the light of regeneration may be about to dawn upon us. Election 2012 is a defining period in America's history. How will history write of what became of the United States? Will the recorded remonstrance be that when it was known that the national treasury was without a dime, that the resources of the country were exhausted, public credit prostrate, the nation was bankrupt both financially and morally, that confidence was destroyed in both political parties and with the executive and legislative branches, that we were surrounded with inveterate and implacable enemies upon our borders, that insurrection and insubordination to the law stalked abroad through the land, that America's people were without work, unemployment ran rampant, and that dependency upon the government for assistance had become a norm. In a word, that we had been reduced to the very lowest point of national degradation, and by way of Greece and other Western European nations, we saw our fate, and we sat idly by. Is this how history will record what became of our fate? Or shall future historians record that people, much like us here today, tonight, from the ranks of common Americans, people of moral compass and principled ideas that had worked their way up in life and pulled themselves up by their bootstraps with solid, sound, conservative principles at the gloomiest period of their country's history, in the darkest hour of a nation's travail, to deliver her from thraldom and bondage, that these mighty Herculean men and women fought to deliver their country from the fangs of the political python that had enveloped her within its folds. Shall it be told to posterity that at such a time and under such circumstances, these people, by common consent of citizenry, acquired the name of benefactor to their country and saved her from this hydra-headed monster? She had been left an easy prey and threatened to devour her in whole. The Tea Party has determined itself. It has awoken people's spirit, the spirit of Madison, Jefferson, and Adams, and many other noble hearts who sacrificed much to leave us this country we have enjoyed for 236 years, yet that we see slowly fading into the pages of history as a once great nation, a leader of nations, of industry and of freedom. My friend Virginia can speak to that. We all have undertaken the personal responsibility to extricate our country from the complications of evils and place our country back in the possession of the American dream, the prosperity our founders fought and died for. And I know that we can deliver America from this hydra-headed monster that we call the federal government, led by a man who is letting our ship sink in rough waters, a man who has in fact abandoned ship. And I know that you all have it within you to help steer our ship into calmer waters and slay the beast that threatens our very way of life. And in 2013, as brothers and sisters, kindred spirits, we all will have our hands on that ship's wheel, and our laurels will be as perennial and bright as those that adorn the memory of Hannibal. Just as he took his fight to Tiberius Longus at Trebia during the Second Punic War, in that same vein, we take our fight to the streets, to the internet, to meetings, Tea Party meetings, to anyone who will listen. And as God is my witness, we're going to win this battle.